Are we ready? Are we ready? There we go. All right. Pez Cantina is the latest project of Chef Bret Thompson, who has previously won acclaim for his work as Patina Group Executive Chef and as the co-founder of Milk Ice Cream Parlor. Has anybody ever been there? Oh, you guys, yeah, it is so good. Just a short walk from Walt Disney Concert Hall in downtown LA, restaurant lovers are flocking to his Pez Cantina, a sustainable coastal Mexican-style restaurant serving the freshest sea-to-land dishes in an oasis-style atmosphere. During his culinary journey, he's worked alongside Chef Roy Yamaguchi in Hawaii, trained with Michelin-starred chefs in Europe, and has been honored Orange County Chef of the Year at Catal. Now, please give me a warm welcome to Chef Bret Thompson! Hi, Chef!
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Thanks for having me. Thanks.
All right, Chef.
Hi, everybody.
What are you going to be preparing for us today?
Well, this is definitely one of our signature dishes at the restaurant, Laredo-style fish tacos. And for those of you who travel to Mexico or go fishing in Mexico, Laredo is a tiny little fishing town. If you go down the Baja California, you pass Cabo, it's about 4 hours north on the Sea of Cortez, and it's a sleepy little fishing town. And we go down there and just relax, go fishing, diving, cook, and hang out. So really the influence for the restaurant came from all of our trips down there.
Mm-hmm. Sounds perfect.
Yeah, so this is one of the things when people, a guest will come out to the table and say, what should we order? It's like, I eat one of these every single day. I mean, I love our fish tacos. And so I figure it's something simple, and something accessible, and everyone loves a taco. So I guess LA is like the official taco capital of the United States.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's cool.
Anybody from LA here? Yeah, all right.
So I thought it would be a good dish to do. You know, a lot of our focus at the restaurant is on seafood, or mariscos as we call it in Spanish, and so I thought it would be a good representation of what we do.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Let's see it.
Okay. So, first of all, so we use different fish for the fish tacos, right? And it depends on what's really available. And what we've been using a lot is swordfish. Swordfish. I like swordfish because it's a big fillet fish. It's kind of fatty when it comes to fish. It has a lot of. It's very, very moist. And people say, oh, I don't like swordfish because it's dry. Well, it's definitely been overcooked, because if you cook it right, it's awesome. And so that's what we're doing today. I have some swordfish here. It's some really great quality swordfish. Oh, there we go.
But you guys will use other seafood as well?
Other seafood?
For the fish tacos?
Yeah, I mean, I'll generally use either swordfish or yellowtail.
Okay.
Both of them are from from Mexico. And so we filleted it already, and this is center cut. You can see it's you can see this, right? Mm-hmm. All right, there you go. It's kind of white, it kind of blends into the board, but it's center cut. It's very, very nice, very fresh. And what I usually do is I cut it into about 1 ounce sticks, fish sticks. Like that. And I'll just do 2 for the demonstration. Now. Okay. Now we're going to season the fish with what I call Pez powder. Now, Pez powder is it's a signature seasoning that we have at the restaurant. It's basically a couple different chili powders, a little bit of salt, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of like dehydrated lime, almost like a. Do you know what tagine is? Mm-hmm. Kind of like our our homemade tagine. And coming to a market near you. I got to plug that. And so we season a little bit of that.
Do you sell it at your restaurant?
We're actually going to start selling it soon. I just got a bunch of bottle samples, so we're starting to package it, because we get a lot of people saying, we put it on our chips as well, and they're just like really addictive, and they're so good. It's got a salty, sour, kind of sweet, a little bit spicy. So we'll season it pretty good with that. Set that aside. Okay, now we're going to make our beer batter. And yeah. I sat in the 5 freeway for about an hour trying to get down here. On the freeway that never seems to stop in construction. Here, I'll see. One's for later. So, and the guy's like, you must be really stressed out. I said, yeah, I'm a little stressed out, but it's actually for the beer batter, so. So it's a very, very simple batter. And actually, I learned this batter from a chef named Sam Choi. I don't know if you know who he is. He's a Polynesian chef. Yeah, he's an old school guy, and I learned this actually from my old sous chef at Gatal. He brought it and he showed me this, and I knew one day I'd use this recipe for something. It's awesome. So this is called rice flour, and I use rice flour as opposed to traditional flour because it really makes it nice and light. It's a sweet rice flour, so you get different choices. A Japanese sweet rice flour. So it's rice flour, very simple. Rice flour, eggs, and beer. That's it. So I'm just going to crack one egg in here. I guess that'll work for a trash can. Okay, and then it's important the beer is cold. Don't do that at home. I've opened a few beers. So, the colder the beer, the thicker the batter stays, and the better the bubbles are. And the better the bubbles are, the better it stays as well. So it kind of stays nice and light and airy. And so basically, I'm looking for like an kind of a thick pancake batter consistency. So it's really, really simple. Sometimes I'll use this batter. I'll make the batter and I'll puree herbs into it and then like dip cauliflower into it, make little cauliflower fritters or different vegetables. So it's really a nice multi-use batter. And like other batters, you're gonna have, some batters you have to make sure you don't mix too much because it gets kind of glutinous because you're using flour. But this is rice flour, so there's no gluten. It's gluten-free, actually.
Oh, great.
Yeah. And so if it's too thin, basically the batter flies right off the fish, and before you get into the fryer. So you see it's kind of thick. You know, it's got a pretty good consistency. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside for now. Here. All right, so batter's done, fish is seasoned. Now I'm going to show you how to make, what we do at the restaurant, we put salsa negra on top of the fish. And salsa negra, actually, kind of got the influence from a fast casual Mexican taco chain. I'm not going to say the name of it, but they had this really great, like a burnt salsa, and I loved it. I said, I'm going to do my own version of this. And we tweak it out a little bit. I have no idea how they make it, but what we do is, it's very, very simple, and people always sort of like look at the stuff and say, it looks burnt. It's not burnt. It really gives it a good flavor. So the ingredients are, so we have tomatoes, and we've charred everything on the grill. When I mean charred, you see it's pretty dark. Those are tomatoes. Onions, cilantro, even cilantro you put on the grill. Oh. And there's another herb in here called garlic chives, also known as nira or Japanese chives. They're kind of a flat chive. And we actually char that as well. It gives it a really nice, it's a different flavor. It's kind of like something, one of those things that no one can duplicate it. Don't tell anybody. Tomatillos. This is called a guajillo chili. Kind of gives it some depth, some like smokiness to it. Jalapenos. And some garlic. So everything you see is charred here. And so what we're going to do is, usually what we do is we'll char it and put it into a pot. And these are red bell peppers. Oh, it's nice and hot already. Mm-hmm. Disney magic. And you see all that juice in there that's from the tomatoes? Like that is just love right there. You got to make sure you put that in there. Some tomatillos. I'm not going to put them all there because I'm running out of room. Right, and then some cilantro. So I'm going to chop that up a little bit. And if you're wondering, yes, I do love a good Japanese fish knife. That's what I generally use for most of my cooking. It stays sharp. It's a little expensive, but they're very, very good knives. So a little bit of onion. I'm not going to use all that. But you can see it looks burnt, but it's really lends itself to a great flavor. And the guajillo, and I'm going to kind of put the guajillo down at the bottom because it's got to kind of hydrate a little bit. And a guajillo pepper, if you're wondering, it's not that spicy. It's actually pretty mild. Okay, the jalapenos. Jalapenos you can do more or less. I have 2 in there. This is not one of our spicier salsas at the restaurant. We actually have 8 salsas we serve with our chips and salsa. So we actually have a salsa menu. If you look at the menu, it's basically the first thing is chips and guac, 8 different salsas, and so it's really fun. We take our salsas pretty serious. And I'm going to put a little bit of water in here, just to kind of help it promote it going. You don't want to put too much water in there because you have a lot of water already with your with all the vegetables and stuff like that. Okay, so the other, while this is going, I love a good conduction oven, stove.
You do love it.
Not really.
Okay.
I cannot tell you how many times I'll do catering events at someone's private house, and we're cooking, and it's like, you know, crunch time's here, and all of a sudden you swipe your hands across this thing, and the whole thing turns off. You're like, ah, what's going on here? You know, it's just, yeah. I never. Well,
you're not alone in this feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Gas is good in this case. Gas is good. Okay, so we got our batter ready. Salsa's going. Kind of our last ingredient here is the slaw. So I think a good fish taco's got to have a good slaw. And ours is really simple. I don't really. At the restaurant, we. Speaking of tortillas, yes, we have tortillas. At the restaurant, we make fresh tortillas. We buy, it's called masa fina or masa regular, and we make fresh tortillas for all of our tacos. It's just, if you guys have ever had like a fresh tortilla, it's a whole world of difference. And the only reason I didn't do this is I only have one press, and they would have been like really mad at the restaurant if I took it tonight, Saturday night. So I brought one of my favorite tortillas. But it's just a totally different experience with the fresh tortilla. I mean, all of our tacos are really simple, just pretty much like a street taco, you know. Good tortilla, good filling, onions and cilantro and salsa, but everything is done like so nicely. It's just, that's what makes the taco so great. So back to our slaw. I've got two colors of cabbage, green and purple. Put it on there. And then we add a little bit of scallions. Okay. And then I dress it with a little bit of lemon vinaigrette, which is basically just olive oil and lemon juice. Really simple. Again, I just like to keep things really simple. You have a lot of things going on in this taco. You have the tortilla, you've got the fish, you've got the salsa, and one last ingredient, I can't forget about this. So I guess some people call it like an ensenada style taco when you put mayonnaise in it. So tortilla, mayonnaise, fish, slaw, salsa. I don't use mayonnaise. We actually make a homemade lime aioli. So if you've ever not made an aioli, aioli basically is just like a garlic mayonnaise. So you know, I don't want to make, it takes a little while to do it, so I couldn't do it in front of you, but it's a very simple process. Egg yolks, you add oil, we add fresh lime juice and fresh lime zest. So that really gives a nice like creaminess to the taco. I mean, it really comes to be a very, very good taco. Okay, so we have lemon vinaigrette, put a little bit of salt and pepper in there. All right. And I really lightly dress it. And just if you're wondering, we do use fresh lime juice for all of the, fresh lemon and lime juice for all of our ingredients, just because it makes such a big difference, you know? All right. Super simple. Okay, so how about we fry the fish now? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Here. At the restaurant, we basically season it and we go. Since I haven't done a demo in a while, I kind of did it a little bit too far in advance, but I just wanted to kind of get it done, you know? But the thing is, when you season, it's hard to tell, but you can see it's kind of wet looking now. Whenever you put like salt on a meat or a fish or anything like that, it starts pulling out the water. And that's not really good, usually. Unless you want to marinate it or like you're going to smoke it or something like that. But generally with fish, it's like salt, pepper. Because if I'm going to saute this, as soon as you put it into a hot saute pan with oil, it starts splashing. And so usually at the last second. Yeah. All right, so our oil seems pretty hot. All right, so we just go right into the beer batter like this. Kind of get the excess off, and then right inside. That's a pretty good portion of swordfish, right? That's gonna make a pretty fat taco. All right.
It's smelling good.
Yeah.
So, Chef, what inspired you to become a chef?
What inspired me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I actually, take a sip of water real quick. I actually was first a butcher.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know why, but as a high school student, I there was this great butcher shop near our house, and I always wanted to get a job there. He finally got me the job, and I just fell in love with it. One of our customers, she would always come in asking me, you know, how to cook this and how to cook that, and I bought a couple cookbooks and started, you know, giving some advice to our customers, and then I started cooking more and more, and then I was 19 at the time and decided to go to culinary school and never look back.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Yeah, so, plus, you know, it's easy to get chicks when you're a cook, you know?
And there's the reason.
Yeah. That was, you know, that was the days of Julia Child and Jeff Smith, the Frugal Gourmet, and all these old school guys. Chefing and cooking was not cool back then. So you can see it's really nice and golden brown. I'm gonna turn this thing off before it explodes. All right, here we go. No, wrong one, sorry. These things are always confusing. But no, I mean, it's we were talking about becoming a chef and how it is and just how demanding it is, and it's a hard job. I mean, as glamorous as it seems, like it is very challenging and physically challenging. You know, I think you know, I'm not 18 years old anymore, so it's like you know, you spend a lot of time on your feet, and it's a hard thing to. When you really love it though, and I always tell the young cooks, if you want to be a good chef, I suggest you start young, you work as hard as you can, you work for the best chefs you can, and you just put yourself in the most difficult situations and just go for it, because that's, you know, it's a challenging industry, but it's fun. There's a lot of payoffs for it, you know, like being here. Okay, so our salsa negra is done. I'm gonna just pop it in here. I got a nice Vitamix blender. It's very nice. Now it is hot, so I'm gonna be very careful. Fortunately, with these great mixers, you have like the ability to kind of pulse it so it doesn't splash all over the place. And at the restaurant, what we'll do with the salsa negra is we'll actually blend it with a stick blender. It's like you know, the hand blenders, but a huge one. It costs like $3 million, this thing. And we'll blend it until it's kind of chunky still. I like it kind of chunky. All right. Some salt and pepper. But if we had like smell-o-vision, it would be really great now, because you can smell the smoke here. It's just really nice.
Can you guys smell it out there, or is it just pushing this way? It smells good.
Alright, we don't need our little plunger here. Alright, do I know how to use this thing here? Hold on a second. There we go.
There it is.
Alright, I'll stop it there. So yeah, this is probably one of my favorite salsas. If you wanna, look at that, it's so yummy. God, I love that salsa. You know, sometimes we'll throw habaneros in there and it gets really nice and spicy. Like I said, we have a lot of salsa at the restaurant, so we kind of play with the salsas, but, so that's that. All right, so basically for the assembly, you know, I like to use a cast iron pan and for the tortillas, but it takes a second. Anybody have any questions, or?
Okay.
Yeah. On the grill, on like a charbroiler, yeah. We have a gas grill at the restaurant, but wood burning would be the best, because you get that wood smell, that wood smoke in there. No oil, just basically super simple. Just put it on there, let it kind of go. Or sometimes we'll put it in like the broiler if we have no room on the grill. We can do that as well. But yeah, yeah, yes. We use canola oil. Yeah. I think my favorite oil is peanut oil, but nowadays it's, you know, with allergies and that kind of stuff, it's a bit easier just to kind of, you know, use an oil that's user friendly. You know.
Is peanut oil because the flavor you like, or
peanut oil just has a high like a burn rate, and so you can cook things, and just the flavor is really nice. It kind of gives you like a really nutty flavor, you know. Mmm, mmm, so good. All right. Here. So yeah, we'll do, at the restaurant, we also do, besides fish tacos, we'll do oyster tacos, scallop. On the menu we have oysters, scallops, shrimp, and fish. So yeah, it's really limitless. You know, there's so many things you can do with it. The oyster tacos are really great. I mean, if you like oysters, fried oysters in there, especially the fried oysters in that beer batter, it's like dynamite. Yeah. Yeah, backstage. Yeah, I'll see you back there. In the six-pack, man. So, yeah, cool. So has anyone been to Pez Cantina by chance?
Not yet.
All right, there we go. Okay. I brought recipes for today. We're also doing some ceviche tomorrow, so if you want to come back, same time. But I've got recipes for today's demonstration. If you want to, after the demonstration, I'll give them to you. I got my business cards. But we're on Bunker Hill in downtown LA. The U.S. Bank Tower is the tallest building in downtown. We're literally the neighbor of the U.S. Bank Tower. So it's fun. A lot of theaters up there and stuff like that. So please come say hi. If you do come in, say hello to me.
And they have salsa on Friday, Saturday nights?
We do have, yes. Now that we're actually officially into like warm weather season, we have live salsa on Friday and Saturday nights, and it is fun. We have a huge patio and salsa. There's some dancing. We have a great bar. You know, it's a poppin' place. It's very fun, not too serious. It's really just a good place to hang out and enjoy.
So we'll all be there next weekend?
Yeah.
There we go.
On Disney?
Oh, yeah, okay. After May 1st, we'll all be there. That's right.
There you go. Okay, so for the assembly, and I usually have it in a squirt bottle, but I'll put a little bit of aioli on the tortilla. Smear it on like that. Fish. Okay. A little bit of the slaw. I don't use a spoon at the restaurant. I'm always using my hands now, right? Much easier. Yeah, I'm very hands-on. I like, you know, I just like using my hands. You can feel the food in the restaurant. I'm very, even though I'm the chef and the owner, I'm like in the kitchen every single night, except for tonight. You know, I'm very hands-on. I feel like, you know, the food's just doesn't, it's not the same when I'm not there, so. Well, we can still go tonight, though. A little salsa negro on top. And that's it.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's, like I said, very simple and delicious, and it's, you know, like I said, I really eat one of these like almost every day. I have at least one taco. The slaw?
All right.
I'll talk to you after demonstration. I got everything in the recipe, and cool, man. All right.
Does anybody have any questions for our chef?
Great question. Really good question. I like Pacifico. It's one of my favorite beers to use it for that and to drink. We actually have it on tap at the restaurant, so we just kind of come out of the tap into the thing. But I mean, really, any lighter beer will work. You know, Coors, Dos Equis, Tecate, but I don't know. I have a. This is a lager, and just something about it I just really like. One of my guys accidentally used Negro Modelo, and it just came out. It came out good, but a little bit darker, different flavor. You know, a little bit bitter because it kind of got bitter as you fried it. So, yeah, it's a great question.
Awesome. One last question.
You gotta volunteer to eat those tacos.
I wish. Yes. Next week I'll meet you at Pez.
There you go. That's good.
I promise. Take me up on that. And you come and say hi. I'll take care of it. You got it. Really.
All right. Well, if you have any other questions for our chef, he will be doing a meet and greet right over there, so you can meet him. Chef Bret Thompson, you were awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Let's hear it for him. To learn more about Chef Bret and his restaurant in downtown LA, please visit PezCantina.com. Thank you all for joining us for our Food and Wine Festival. And one more time for Chef Thompson. Thanks, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us and enjoy the rest of your day at Disney California Adventure Food and Wine Festival.